Okay, now we have about like 25 minutes. For that, what we do is that we go down at the stanza 105. Okay, selflessness. Okay, sorry, 102. The selflessness phenomena in relation to the close placement of mindfulness on mind. So how the mind, let's say, 102, a mind does not exist in sense powers, in forms and so on, nor in the space in between. The mind, where's the mind? Again, the mind, it arises out of dependence on the sense power and so forth. Where? So the way, in the sense power, outside the sense power, there is an like this, if the mind cannot be found. And for the mind, the meditation on the emptiness of the mind. Meditation on emptiness of the mind. www.bodhiwisdom.org. Bodhiwisdom.org. So there, from there you will see the meditation of the mind in great detail, how the meditation of the mind is done. So once you know how to do meditation on the mind, emptiness of the mind, on the emptiness of the mind, then you will apply this to the feelings, the pains, anxiety, stress, all these, say the mental states. You can apply the meditation on the emptiness of the mind, the same to the feelings as well. So that will be very helpful. And then at the same time, never underestimate yourself pertaining to the academic studies. Meaning that these are very academic, these are so precious. Same, somebody can give you a teaching on the meditation of the mind in a very simple way, but then how profound that's going to be like depends on not only what is taught, depends on your background. If you have a very rich academic learning of these analysis, then the meditation of emptiness, even if somebody teaches something very simple, you will get it in a full form, right? So therefore, the academic studies of these texts is so precious. Okay. So with this, I'm not going to go into detail. So then the 105. Yet, if it occurs after the object of cognition, then from what does the cognition of it arise? And then the next one is selflessness of phenomena in relation to the close placement of mindfulness of phenomena. So this just 2 lines. A truly existent arising of any phenomena cannot be determined. Same, any phenomena, body, feeling, mind, and phenomena. Any phenomena, if you subject to ultimate analysis, object will disappear, which means that any phenomena does not really exist objectively. Okay. Okay, now what we will do is that we turn to stanza 116. Stanza 116. Okay. Stanza 116 and down. This is known as, again, is same. The explaining the emptiness. Explaining emptiness. There are so many reasonings employed. Now this, what we see here, rejecting the logic that establishes emptiness. But what is employed here is known as the diamond sliver reasoning. Right. Diamond sliver, S-L-I-V-E-R, not silver, sliver. Diamond sliver reasoning. And the 116 down. 116 down. Okay. So this is Acharya Chandrakirti. Acharya Chandrakirti, Madhyamika Avatar, chapter 6, except for the initial intro. The whole chapter is dedicated on establishing emptiness. And there, as we discussed earlier, How Acharya Chandrakirti explained emptiness was, he did it by dividing the chapter 6 into two parts. The substance of phenomena, substance of person, two. And substance of phenomena, and the how Acharya Chandrakirti explains is on the basis of what we are doing now, here, which is the diamond sliver reasoning. Diamond sliver reasoning, which also is known as the reasoning of rejecting the four modes of production. Reasoning of rejecting the four modes of production. Reasoning of rejecting four modes of production. Okay, I'll give you just a summary of that now, rather than going through them in detail. The reasoning of rejecting the four modes of production. To make it very precise, four modes of objective production. To make it easier, four modes of objective reasoning. The reasoning of rejecting the four modes of production, four modes of objective production, which is also known as the reasoning of the diamond sliver. Reasoning of the diamond sliver reasoning. Sliver, S-L-I-V-A-R. Sliver meaning tiny bits, or the broken pieces. Not really broken, it's tiny bits, you know. Okay, so the reasoning rejecting the four modes of objective production. Okay, if there, say the flower is produced from the seed. The flower is produced from the seed. If the flower is objectively produced from the seed, the way we see the flower produced from the seed, objectively produced from the seed, then there are only four possibilities for the production. Let's say that if somebody enters into this house, if it's a human being, right, enters into this house, this is the only way, right? This is either the door or the windows. There are two possibilities, either the door or the windows. Likewise, if something is produced objectively, there are only four possibilities. There are only four possible objective productions. How are they? That the object should be produced from itself. That object should be produced from itself, one. Meaning that what they say, some of the spiritual philosophers, right? The ancient Indian philosophers, they say that, for example, say we have an apple seed. From the apple seed, when planted, big apple tree grows. Big apple tree grows from this tiny seed. So they say that without the apple tree inside, without something inside, how can it come out? If you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil will come out. In order for the oil to come out, there must be oil inside there. Likewise, in order for the tree to come out, there must be a tree inside there. So in this tiny seed, there is a tree there. But that tree is in the non-manifest form. Right? The non-manifest form, the non-manifest tree comes out in the form of manifest form. Right? The tree is inside this. This tree inside. This is what is believed by some of the ancient classical Indian thinkers or the philosophers. This is known as the tree is already there, what is already there comes out. That is a self-production. There is no production from something else different. This is self-production. One. Number two is production from another object. Production from objectively existent another object. Either it should produce from itself, or number two, it should be produced from another object which is objectively existent. Number two. Number three is it should be produced from both self as well as from other things. For example, I say the tree coming out of this seed, the tree coming out of this, so the self-production was the non-manifest trees inside, and then it requires water, that is other, right? So it's from both, from self and from others both. Number four is costless production, meaning random production. Okay, production from itself, production from another, production from both self and other, and random productions, causeless production. 4. You getting it? Okay. Now say that, and this production is on what belief? On the belief that the production exists objectively. You getting it? The belief that the production exists objectively. This is objectively existing production. If there's objectively existing production, then these are only 4 possibilities. Either it should produce from itself, or produce from objectively existing another, or from both self and another, or causeless production. 4. Right? So now, here from this now down, all these 4 modes are rejected. So let's say first production of the self. Production of self means say from within this tiny, if there's production of self, meaning the big tree is produced from the non-manifest big tree inside the seed. Inside the seed. Then I think it's Bodhisattva Shantideva said that. Then there's the big tree in the form of seed. Then from the seed it goes to a very tiny shoot. Right? On the tiny shoot. And then on the tiny shoot, it's a tiny ant. Say a tiny ant can sit on the tiny shoot, green shoot, tiny shoot. And this tiny ant can in future take birth as an elephant. So this elephant should also be on this shoot. Right? So the tiny shoot should be holding this big elephant. Okay. So these are the contradictions. If you say that the things are there within the seed itself, this is how self-production is rejected. Now production another. Production from another means, say the flower is produced from the seed of the flower. So the seed of the flower is another. But if it exists objectively, the seed of the flower exists objectively. Okay, 10 minutes more. Right? If the seed exists objectively and the flower exists objectively, simultaneously let's not go to that extent. Say objective means these two exist independently. If the two exist independently, then this seed and the flower, these two are not related. Because these are not dependent on each other. Because these two are independent. These two are not related. If these two are not related, right, then planting apple tree, mango should grow. Unrelated things should be grown. And by lighting a candle, instead of light coming out, darkness should come out. Right? Okay, all these contradictions come out if we accept production from another objectively existing phenomenon. Number 2. Because both individually they are rejected, combination of both can be rejected easily. Number 3 is rejected. And then causeless production. Without cause, if something comes into being. In fact, causeless production, in ancient times, there's the Charvaka, which is actually cited here. Charvaka, the first one, 116. Charvakas assert, right? Causeless production. They say that, for example, the painting, for the paintings, when the mix of the color, color combinations were done, and then depending on how beautifully it is done, that tells us how good the artist is, how good the painter is. But look at this, it's so beautiful done. Even the best of the painters can hardly paint this. Who painted this? Who made this beautiful design? Right? So they say that nobody painted this, and this is causelessly painted. Without any cause, this paint came into being. And who made the beings round? Right? In order for us to make this round They must be, in the olden times, 50, say 1,000 years ago, in those days, such a beautifully round thing is not really possible. Some error is there. Now with the sophisticated machines, it's perfectly round, right? Which means that, oh, there must be a very sophisticated machine. We can say whether it's handmade or whether the machine, we can easily see that. You're getting it? And the beans, they're perfectly round. And who made, what machine is used to make the beans round? No machine is used, it's random. Right? And for us to make the needles are very fine, right? Very fine. Somebody must have made this needle. You see the needle, or somebody must have made it. But who made these very fine tones? Nobody made it. So there are things which are what people made, and there are things which are randomly arisen, causeless produce, right? So this is the causeless production. With the causeless production, again there are so many contradictions. So the point is that we have to listen to what they say, we have to understand fully what they are saying, and then see to the contradiction. Don't just reject them without knowing what they are saying. Now, they have an incredible, powerful, say, either experiential or the, empirical facts or reasoning. They are. May not be complete, but they have some basis there for these positions. Okay, so for the causeless production, then all these contradictions happen, right? All these contradictions happen. If the bean can be round, why not this flower is also round, right? Why not the flower? Why not the flower becomes round? Why only the bean becomes round, right? Causelessly, why not causelessly the flower becomes round? So this all the contradictions there. Okay, so this is known as the reasoning of the rejection of the four modes of objective production, right? This is also known as the diamond sliver reasoning. Okay, now let's turn to 141. So let's say 143, the reasoning of dependent. Up to this point, 142 is the rejection of the four modes of objective production till 142. Now 143, 144 is reasoning of dependent origination. Finally, with all these studies, the reasoning of dependent origination to establish emptiness. Reasoning of dependent origination to establish emptiness. This is referred to as the king of the reasoning. Reasoning of dependent origination to establish emptiness. This is referred to as the king of the reasoning. So the point is that with all what you've learned of establishing the emptiness, somehow we should be able to see them in the light of dependent origination in order to prove emptiness, right? Same. And then Lama Tsongkhapa, in fact, when I was a student myself, at one point I was reading Lama Tsongkhapa's commentary on Mula Madhyamika Karika, Arya Nagarjuna's text. While reading this, somewhere in the middle, I don't remember which page, whatever, reading that, there was one piece of advice. The advice was so precious, so precious. Advice given was that after learning a little bit about emptiness and learning about dependent origination, what is important is that you get some inkling or some experience that things don't exist the way they appear to me. In other words, things are empty of how they appear to me. Once you get a glimpse, once you get some inkling of this, the confidence that things don't really exist the way they appear to me. When you get that experience, right? That experience, I was going to say, is so precious. And in your life, and in your future lives also, meeting with teachers who can teach you this concept is so less, very unlikely. So now what we should be doing, he advised that we should link this experience that we have in this life with the concept of dependent origination. So for example, in my case which I shared with you earlier, right? When I Nowadays, it's not so much happening. In those days, so for example, I shared this experience that when I lost my mother 5 years, when I was 5 years old, and then when I was in my third class, maybe after like 3 years, third class, class 3, my teacher taught the Tibetan song, and the Tibetan song was exactly the song which my mother used to sing when I was just 3 or 4 years old. So instantly, this song just not at all, it does not have any tune, melody, nothing. It's a very simple folk song, very simple. But to the ears and the mind of this young boy, age 8, this young boy, this song just brought such tears and emotions in the young boy's mind. Because this song was linked with the emotional feelings which this young child went through with the mother. Right? Linked. Because of this, but later on when the song was heard, this emotion was retrieved. Likewise, we can link dependent origination, the concept of dependent origination with the concept of emptiness, link them so well in this life. Next life, whenever somebody teaches dependent origination, whenever you see dependent origination, instantly experience emptiness will be retrieved. So therefore, even if you don't meet somebody teaching you emptiness in the next life, you still will be connected, you'll meet with the teaching emptiness. So this advice given by Lama Tsongkhapa. So he said, how to do that? He advised that whenever you see things, for example, say, okay, yesterday, because there was a power cut, then we had to do something. So that the class continued. Right? And then what happened? Suddenly there was a generator operated, the sound of the generator operated. But dependence on that, then we had to close the window, otherwise it was very disturbing. So disturbance came to origination because of the generator sound. And how to stop the sound had to stop. How? By closing the windows. By closing the windows, suffocation happens. Right? Suffocation comes to origination. Right? So you see how things are all originated dependent on other factors. One affecting the other affecting the other, like this. So when you say dependent, so therefore, suffocation is not independent existence. It exists by dependence on the closing of the windows. Closing of the windows is not independent existence. It was because of the sound. Sound of the generator was not independent existence because of the power cut. Right? So like this we see dependent origination. So Lama said that in the future lifetimes that you meeting with the concept of dependent origination is ample. So in this life, if you connect anything that you see dependent on each other, because it is dependent originated, therefore it is not truly existent. Therefore it is not objective existence. Therefore it is empty of objective existence. This is how you should always connect. Then it becomes habit in your mind. It becomes habit. So this habit you take to your next life. And next life, you will see, say, you're born to a very simple family. So a mother who is totally uneducated, father who is totally uneducated. And the mother may say that, hey, don't do this, otherwise you become sick. Right? Hey, don't eat this food. Don't eat this food, it will make you sick. Don't eat this dirty food, it will make you sick. Oh, by dependence on eating a dirty food, sickness will originate. Right? Even this mother can teach you. From this you will say, so therefore the sickness is not independently existent. Right? Mother has no clue. And you got it. Because you linked the dependent origination with emptiness experience, right? Emptiness automatically is retrieved. So this is a very precious advice given by Lama Tsongkhapa. Okay. So this is a reason of dependent origination to establish the view of selflessness. This is one point. And then, okay. Then, page, the stanza 150. 150, stanza 150. From stanza 150 down to 165, I think. Down to 167. 150 to 167, we have been reading every morning. Right? So this is very simple. It has nothing to do with the establishing emptiness. It is just invigorating your compassion towards the sentient beings on the basis of your whatever experience of emptiness that you get. On that basis, you feel so compassion towards the beings, seeing that the beings are, by dependence on not seeing emptiness, self-grasping ignorance originates. By dependent self-grasping ignorance, then the self-centered attitude comes into play. Self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude, these two play together, then the emotion arises, I want this, right? I want this, this is my country, and you are encroaching in our land, right? Wars happening, right? Okay, this is my business, patented, right? And you are encroaching on this, and low court case, this is my property, right? My parents, they gave it to me, not to you, everything goes to me, you are my sister, you don't deserve anything, my parents gave everything to me, no, right? Although according to the community rule that it goes to the son, but my parents so kind, the letter will saying that the property will be divided with the brother and sister, right? All these things, because of self-grasping ignorance, created the dream, right? Self-grasping ignorance created the dream, and in this dream, then the self-centered attitude comes into play. Wow, this is good, this is not good, in the dream. All this self-grasping, oh, I want this, I don't want this, all these things happen, right? If the dream is not created, self-centered attitude cannot do anything. But the dream is created, dream of the beautiful flower is created, I want this flower, I'm so tired, right? And now today I'll skip the class, I'm so tired. All these things are created, all these things play of the self-centered attitude comes to being when the dream is created by the self-grasping ignorance. So self-grasping ignorance creates a dream, and self-centered attitude plays on this. So these two combine together, then the emotions arise, attachment, anger, jealous, all these things arise, and with these emotions then the contaminant karmas come into play. And contaminant karmas then operate to create miseries in us, three kinds of miseries. Okay. So seeing that finally self-grasping, if you can pull the self-grasping ignorance, pull out self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude cannot do anything. It cannot play on this, right? When the dream is stopped, by cutting the self-grasping ignorance, when the dream stops, then self-centered attitude cannot play with the dream, right? Then the emotions in the dream stop. The fear in the dream stops. Okay, so this is how one realizes, and then seeing that whosoever doesn't realize emptiness, they continue to create the dreams. And seeing that you getting some understanding of emptiness, seeing that others who do not experience emptiness, they continue to create the dreams, then self-centered attitude continues to play on it. And then the emotions, negative emotions are continuously created, because of which then the contaminant karmas are continuously created, and because of which the beings continuously suffer one after the other, endlessly suffering. Sometimes positive karmas come into play, contaminated positive karmas come into play, and you take a favorable birth, you have say you're born in a good family, rich family, okay, fine, again, still their own dreams, self-grasping increases, continues to create the dreams, and then the self-centered attitude continues to play on this, again, say then in a rich family, again there's a jealousy, the competitiveness and so forth. If you cannot live up to the standard of the family, you feel so low, right? And to able to catch with this, there's so many other who are so good, you have to compete with them, right? And if you take the poor family, you always envious with the richer family, right? And then there's hunger problem, no education problem. Where there's no education, there are more communal rights, fights, these things happening, right? So all these things are continuously dreams created by self-grasping ignorance, and self-centered continues to play on this. Sometimes virtuous, the contaminant virtuous karmas come into play, but self-centered, self-grasping ignorance creates. The virtuous creates a very pleasant things in the dream, then okay, I'm healthy, I'm in a good family, I'm lucky that I'm born in a good family, I'm lucky that I have good health, I'm lucky that I'm not disabled. And the next life, again, plunge into another dream, where you are disabled, very poor, physically so fragile, say, why it happens to me, why it happens to me, why not others, right? This is how we're constantly being the bullied by the self-grasping ignorance by creating the dreams to us, and our self-centered attitude freely plays on this, and then creates the negative emotions, spontaneous karmas, miseries, endless, as long as you don't stop creating the dreams. Don't stop the self-grasping ignorance to create the dreams, right? The self-centered attitude will continue to play on the dream created by the self-grasping ignorance, and the negative emotions are continuously created, karmas are continuously created, miseries will perpetuate that way. Okay, so seeing this, then no matter what other person is, whether the person is rich, poor, educated, uneducated, high caste, low caste, male, female, it doesn't matter. We are all suffering from the bully of the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered which is playing on this. So this is what we get. So with this you feel exceptional compassionate towards the beings, right? So sometimes we are very healthy, sometimes we kill each other and so forth. So unless you wake up from this sleep of ignorance, it's just a matter of time. Somebody is happy now, good family life. It's just a matter of time. Next time, anytime you can fall into the miserable state. Okay, so seeing this, your compassion becomes intensely flowing to sentient beings. How the sentient beings are suffering because of this dream created by the self-grasping ignorance. Okay, so what we do is that we will quickly do the end direction prayer. Page 278, I think. Okay, page 278, yes. Okay, what we do is that okay, this is, I would say this is a very productive class, productive course. And of course we cannot go through everything word to word, but overall speaking, there's a very good interaction, questions, so very meaningful questions coming out, very good. Okay, so let us dedicate the merits that's gathered, that the wisdom of emptiness and the wisdom of the life of the Bodhisattva and the life of the wisdom of emptiness proliferate in the minds of all dear sentient beings, so that the darkness of the self-grasping ignorance and the darkness of self-centered attitude are eliminated, the two demons are eliminated from the minds of all sentient beings, and that the sentient beings experience the bounties of happiness eternally. Let us also dedicate merits that are scattered, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, a true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that he lives long and that his wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. And let us dedicate the merits that are scattered, that all these great learning centers like the Mount Everest, from which all the water, all the rivers, all the streams flow, the streams of benefit flow to the sentient beings, these great learning centers like Mount Everest, or the Mount Kailash, learning centers like the Ganden, Sera, Depung, the center, learning center in Sakya, Kaikyu, Nyingma, Gelu, all these learning centers, may they really thrive in the activities of learning, reflection, and meditation, all the wisdom, emptiness, compassion, and bodhicitta, so that the world will see the light of the ultimate relief, ultimate peace, and ultimate happiness. May I personally dedicate the merits that are scattered, that each one of you here be able to soon see the dawn, with your own concerted effort, be able to soon see the dawn of the wisdom of emptiness and the bodhicitta, unconditional love of the bodhicitta for all human sentient beings, so that you'll become such a reliable guide to lead all other sentient beings towards ultimate happiness. May the teaching on the wisdom of emptiness, may the teaching on bodhicitta thrive in the minds of all human sentient beings, present and future. And may the great centers like Choe and all these great centers be found by as innumerable number of people, and that they receive the benefit of these centers. And may the people who are in these centers, who are working for the common people, may the officials, the staff, may the staff, the volunteers, they all have a long life, they'll all be able to really grow themselves and let others grow through the center. Okay, with this mind, let's turn to page 278. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness food. All powerful jealousy tends in your soul. Please remain until samsara ends. Just as a very unusual and somewhat about too, realize things as they are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow the perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication and praise as the best by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhisattva that is not arisen arise and grow, and may that which is arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. Okay, so I'm extremely grateful to everyone, all of you here, Dr. his special warmth and his sense of the responsibility, sense of just being an anchor. And there are so many, the monastics, the cycle members of the teachers coming to the center, and the director, and our new SPC, and each one of you. It is what a joy for me to be with all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so before this, what I'd like to do, this is a brochure for, most of you already know this. This is a brochure for the study, what we are studying now, and so forth, in more detail. Right? More detail. So there's a brochure here, and I'll distribute the brochure to each one of you. And those of you who have your friends who are interested in more the study of these things, you can take the extras if you have friends, right? So this would be very helpful. The study that we're doing now. So all these things will be covered. And this teaching is for 1 year. 1 year diploma course. Most of you all know about it. Okay, yes.